there, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a dive into the colorful world of eyeshadow palettes. That's right, we are going to be doing a ranking of all the vibrant shades I've been playing with for the month of May. But here's the twist, my friends. Those drugstore darlings came out swinging and gave those high-end shadows a run for their money. Trust me, you won't want to miss this palette party, so grab those brushes, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get started with the ultimate palette ranking for the month of May. As always, I am going to be starting at the very bottom with a ultimate luxury brand, and at the bottom of my palette ranking is going to be the Tom Ford Quad in Leopard Sun. You guys, this palette sucked. I hated the look I did so much with this palette, I didn't even take a picture of it. And in fact, this palette is getting decluttered for my collection. It was that bad. I do like the Tom Ford formula, but I usually like the ones that have the imprint of the TF in it. This one does not have those imprints, and the quality of this was just lackluster. I even ended up, I don't know if you can see, but I even ended up trying to use their brushes to make this palette better. It did not work. Decluttered. This next one is going to be the Natasha Denona Alloy palette, and you guys, it is another high-end palette ranked at the bottom, but that is mostly because this palette is nothing special. Absolutely nothing special. The shades perform great and they create a look, but it's a look I can get from any other palette, and the look that I would create from another palette would definitely have more oomph, more sparkle, more shine, more something. This is just not it. It's just not it. So that is where this is also ranked at the bottom. Coming in at number, I believe this is 9, is going to be the Morphe, and this is the Luminous palette, and this is what it looks like. I actually really like this. I think these shades are so much more sparkly, pretty. They give you so much more depth and dimension than those Natasha Denona palettes. The only reason this one is ranked so low is because it is very one note. You are only going to get a cool tone look. You're only going to get a sparkly cool tone look from this palette, and you know, I like just a little bit more variety in my palettes, so that is why this is ranked number 9. Coming in at number 8 is going to be the Ace Beaute Smokey Roses palette. I did get this in a Boxycharm, and I wasn't exactly that thrilled with the formula of this. These shadows, you definitely have to work with a little bit of a stiff brush. They are a little flaky. I don't know if you can see that on the side of the finger there, but they are gorgeous. They do perform very well on the eyes. The only reason this is ranked so low, besides the fact that you have to work a little to get it to work, is the fact that this is not necessarily my color story. I don't, in general, reach for smoky roses, so that is why this is ranked at number 8. This next set, from 7 on up, you guys, I really liked these palettes, and none of these palettes are high-end. They are all drugstore, but I really liked these palettes. And the first one is going to be Relove by Revolution, and it is the Euphoric palette. And you guys, I love this. It performed beautifully. It was, I think this was only like $2 or $3 at Walmart. It is gorgeous. And the shades here, definitely, like, look at that pink. You get the color payoff you are expecting when you have this palette. It is gorgeous. The reason it is ranked number 7 and not a little bit higher is because, again, it's very one note. It is very pink, and even this one right here, this purple shade here, is definitely oh my gosh, it died. Okay, well, that just fell out, but even that shade right there, if you pair it with the pinks, is going to pull just a little bit more pink than purple in it, but that's okay. It is very pretty, and I do like it. Obviously very soft press, because you guys, look at that. Like a huge chunk just fell out. So keep that in mind, maybe not travel with this. This next one, admittedly, I only did one look with, and it is a newer palette. This is the Essence and Lion King number 3 Dream Big Little One, and this is what it looks like. You guys, these shimmers really did surprise me. They are very pretty, and this is going to be one you do have to use a stiff brush and kind of work at it, maybe use a little setting spray, but the look that I did with this palette was gorgeous. So pretty, I did a YouTube short on it. It was just pretty, and you guys, I was really shocked about this palette. I know Essence collaboration palettes usually aren't the best. This one, my dears, is very good. This next one is going to be the Colourpop Super Bloom palette, and this is what that one looks like. You guys, this is my project Level Up, and I've used this to create a couple of looks, and I really like them. Greens and purples are my color story, and I have no issues with the formula on it. The only shade I do not like in this one is going to be the Photo Spot right here, and that is because it is more of a matte with those sparkles in it that just it's not my thing. Now, if it is your thing, all the other shades in this palette perform beautifully. I have no issues with them, just that one, and that is why it is ranked where it is. Palette number 4 is going to be the Rude Cosmetics Cat Girl Chronicles, and this, my dears, is in their manga series, and I love this. I love almost every shade in this palette. It is gorgeous. They have beautiful duochromes. This one right here is a duochrome. This one right here is a duochrome. It's just a beautiful palette. The only reason it is ranked where it is and not higher is because of the color story. This color story right here is definitely more of a fall winter type color story, at least to me. The more blues, the more muted, like cool tone looks. So this is not exactly one that I would call like a perfect summertime palette. However, I mean, you could definitely make it that way with the green, the like a lime green over here. That is a green, even though it doesn't look that way. That's another duochrome. But I love these palettes. I love the Rude Cosmetics formula, and you guys, these palettes are relatively inexpensive. In fact, I got this at TJ Maxx for $9. So drugstore for the win. Again. This next one was really hard to rank where I ranked it, but it is the Makeup Revolution Forever Flawless, and this is the Aventurine palette. And the only reason I rank this where it is because I like the color stories of the next palettes just a little bit more, but I loved this eyeshadow palette. They perform beautifully. I love this formula for Makeup Revolution. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk about this, but let me tell you, drugstore, like this formula right here, it actually lasts on my eyes. My eyelids do not eat this eyeshadow formula, which is really weird because for most Makeup Revolution palettes, they don't last on my eyes. But this one does, and I love it. This next one is going to come as no surprise to you guys, and it is the Beauty Bay Wilderness palette. You guys, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. And honestly, every time I use this palette, it ranks super high in my ranking just because you can't fault the formula. It is gorgeous formula. There is not a dud shade in here, except maybe this one right here, but that is because it came shattered. I tried to repress it. It didn't exactly work the greatest, but hey, I can still use that shade even though I repressed it. So I believe this month I did a red look, which I will of course be having on the screen for you guys, and it's just gorgeous, and it does give you a little bit more versatility than you would think, but love it. Love it, love it, love it. That is why it is ranked number 2. And for the number 1 spot, there is actually a tie. So I'm going to do this one first because you guys have heard me talk about this one nonstop, and it is the Makeup Revolution Forever Flawless Amethyst palette, and I love the color story. It's beautiful. I've been reaching for this. If I ever don't know what eyeshadow palette I want to use, this is the palette I reach for. I can do neutralies, I can do more neutral looks, I can do more purple looks, I can even get more pink looks out of this. It's just pretty. I love it. I'm not going to talk a lot about that one. The one I will talk more about is going to be the Rude Cosmetics Attitude Academia, and this is the palette I actually have on my eyes today. And you guys, this is just the perfect spring-summer color story. And the reason I say that is it's got some beautiful duochromes. I wore this one yesterday, and I wore a yellow-pink look that I will try to have on the screen. And I'm wearing this duochrome today. It's another purple-blue duochrome along with this green one right here on my lids today. This is just pretty. I've really been enjoying playing with this, and it's got purples and greens in it and pinks and yellows. It's like all my favorite colors is in this one palette. So I've only done 2 looks with it. This is newer to my collection. I did pick it up at TJ Maxx when we were traveling recently, and you guys, I love this palette, but I couldn't decide between these 2 for ranking them for number 1. I love them both equally. This one's just a hair bit more colorful. Okay, a lot more colorful than this one, and that is the only reason I couldn't really decide between the 2 of them, but they're both great quality. This one, the sparkles and the shimmers in it they are definitely more punchy, and they are definitely that duochrome. So if I had to choose, I would give it to the Rude Cosmetics. But I love this one, and I'm going to rank them both number 1. But if you're asking me which one I would choose at this moment in time, it would be this one. So that is all I have for my May palette rankings. You guys, I cannot believe the drugstore darlings have won in this ranking video. Like, I had Tom Ford and Natasha, Denona, and I really thought they were going to rank higher, but just looking even at the pictures and looking at the looks that I created with those, or even not even wanting to take a look with it, that's just no good. Drugstore darlings for the win this month. Let's go. Let me know what palette you guys have been enjoying down in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!